What's up, y'all? This is Afro Beer Guru, episode 3. We're going to check out the PHANTOM CARRIAGE brewery in Carson, California. Super interesting spot, especially for y'all horror and alternative culture fans. One of the most interesting breweries to visit as far as the decor and the vibe. As those of you who've seen the last couple episodes, I like to go pretty in depth into two different beers as opposed to trying various tasters. So not so much a general view of a brewery, but kind of an adventure with two different beers. These are all my own observations and my own journey through beer. So I'm not like a beer specialist. I am a guru though, and I am a master of my own feelings and a master of my own journey. So yeah. So if you like beer and if you like conversations, sometimes tipsy conversations, this may be the blog for you. So subscribe on that, and yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it real, dude. Afro Beer Guru. What's up, everybody? So we're here at PHANTOM CARRIAGE, and we're about to try some beer. And this is the, look at this guy, babe. Look at the color on that. The Imbue Kang Kob. And that's a hazy pumpkin beer with a pumpkin and coconut. Pumpkin and coconut. I don't know what coconut is, but pumpkin and coconut delight. Thai inspired with lime with a creamy finish. Imbue Kang Kob. And this is on tap at PHANTOM CARRIAGE right now, December 3rd, 2021. I tried it on tap, and immediately I thought it was like super interesting. A hazy pumpkin coconut beer with lime. That's going to be some super creative California style shit. You know? One of the main things that I noticed is the oiliness, which is just an aspect of coconut. That oiliness in the bottom. On the bottom note. Oh, I mean, the nose on it is just straight up tropical delight, Mai Tai. Just fun right now. I'm a big pumpkin beer fan in general. Whenever I see there's a pumpkin beer on tap anywhere or in a store, you know, I'll try to pick it up. When it comes to beers with a lot of different flavors, it can kind of go two ways. Either super interesting or super terrible. But I think what makes a good character or experiment beer is how it retains that essential beer essence. Generally, how it kind of keeps that base. So one of my favorite beers is actually Modelo. I'm a big fan of Mexican style beers, lagers. There's nothing like having like a nice Mexican beer, you know, with some lime on it. And I think this beer really captures a little bit of that kind of taste profile, like that mix of lime and kind of that kind of lagery kind of width in the mouth that's super tasty, a little salty. So with PHANTOM CARRIAGE, like looking at the menu right now on my phone, and also from what I remember from looking up at the display, super creative beer. Let me read you some of these names: Blood Acres, Sour Fruited Berliner Weiss, Black Cherry Blood Acres, Treppen Thomas, the sour Belgian style wit beer, an Italian Pils, Honey Saison, unfiltered IPA. I mean, if you're looking for a spot to really try a lot of the different what beer can really do, I would say PHANTOM CARRIAGE is one of those spots because it's so inventive and they just do so much. You know, I mean, just from that list I read to you, that's a lot of different ground they recover when it comes to what's possible. This is fucking tasty. This guy right here looks super interesting. La Dame Droom Boon, a breakfast amber. I'm totally have to try that. Phantom Carriage has a stage here as well. I don't know what type of bands that they have playing here. I'm assuming some metal bands, but I'm super curious to see, man, if I can get my band player. One of the coolest aspects about breweries is that a lot of them have concerts. Bars have bands obviously as well too, but I think that there's something about the audience for breweries that are a little bit different. The typical beer drinker is someone who's going to be a little more, maybe more of a, I don't want to say refined because that kind of sounds bougie, more of kind of like a mellow type of personalities. A drink for the pleasure of it and talk to some new people, make some new friends potentially, and talk to some random folks. And, you know, not necessarily hook up with someone that night, even though that's also awesome too. Ballast Point opened up in Long Beach, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and that spot in particular really shows the potential of what I think breweries can do as far as audiences. I mean, you go in there and it's like what I imagine like a club would feel like, as far as like the energy in there, just young folks trying to come out and have a good time, you know? I mean, I think that the club scene is something that I think people can sometimes age out of, or can kind of get kind of aggressive, you know, like if you can't even talk to anyone in there, you know, I mean, what's the point of that? And it's also so expensive. I mean, you go to a club, you know, I mean, you may pay $20 or $50 cover, you know, whereas, you know, if you go to a brewery, you know, all you're buying is beer, and sometimes, you know, it's not that much, you know. So if you have a bunch of friends and you want to go out to the spot and just, you know, just like vibe, you know, I mean, the scene here at Phantom Carriage is super, you know, some good folks in here. So look at the color of this guy right here. So yeah, man, breweries and dispensaries I think are the future right now, and super exciting to be kind of exploring this world a little more. I don't really smoke weed that much, but you know, I love the culture, I love the folks, you know what I mean? I love the creativity, you know. I was introduced to beer probably in high school, when I first discovered the Stones beer, the Arrogant Bastard. It was super intriguing, especially as a young man, you know, exploring irreverence, you know, challenging the status quo. The idea of creating like a marketing plan around, you know, being an arrogant bastard, I thought was super cool. And so that's something that I can really appreciate about this kind of community, is just that irreverence, that kind of challenging the status quo. Being that type of brand that doesn't really give a fuck, you know, that kind of does its own thing. Also, of course, the creativity and kind of the sense of, you know, the brewmasters being just kind of artists, you know, kind of secluded artists. And I think that really connects with doing music, you know. As a musician, you're like out there, you know, often kind of secluded, taking a chance of something creative, independent, intrepid kind of pursuit of your dreams, you know. I mean, one of the things I really like about this beer is that they have the perfect balance of the pumpkin and the coconut, and it's two flavors that you wouldn't imagine really go together. I mean, we're talking about wintry and kind of colder climate fruit or vegetable, I don't know what the fuck, and warmer climate coconut. And I think perhaps the secret ingredient in all of that is the lime, which kind of, I think lime, as in cooking and everything, that is always a really great melder of different flavor profiles into something that makes sense, you know. I think we need another beer. Check out the dramatic lighting we have going on here inside the movie room. So super cool little spot. This is the La Dame Droom Boon. Yeah, check that guy out. Oh, look at that. Look at the head on that. La Dame Droom Boon is a breakfast amber, 7.0 alcohol by volume, your morning fix, an amber ale with natural Ethiopian Werka coffee, cinnamon, vanilla, and blueberries. Cheers. So the last beer I had, that was at 7.1 alcohol by volume. This La Dame Droom Boon is at 7.0. It's basically about the same amount of alcohol by volume. But right off the bat, there's definitely more of a pronounced alcohol flavor to it. Probably the first thing you'll notice in this beer is that coffeeness, that sense of, which, you know, it's always interesting when people mixed coffee, you know, because that's two ends of the day. You know, we're talking about, you know, when you wake up and at night. We're talking about eggs and sausage versus, you know, pasta and tomato sauce. Coffee flavors typically are associated with, let's say, stouts and heavier, darker beers. You don't really see this color for a breakfast-y kind of coffee kind of look to it. So it's super, super original. So check out this guy right behind me. Yeah. So we're looking at two different, you know, amber and coffee. There's kind of on the kind of same plane as far as the acidic kind of quality to it. There isn't really kind of a mitigating flavor in this. So ultimately, it's kind of it's the acidity and the high, relatively high alcohol by volume, which even though it's not really that high. What do you think about this, baby? As I mentioned before, kind of like the acidic nature of the amber palate is a little bit, I think, mixes, and the coffee kind of goes out of balance a little bit. The previous beer we had was about the same alcohol per volume, but this one seems a lot more of an alcohol taste on it. Kind of a toastier kind of taste to it. Yeah, kind of think about it. I love this guy. Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. I love this guy. He's singing. But still, you know, like a fun experiment. I don't know if you guys can see this guy over here. Totally would recommend coming down here. It's super tasty. The variety of beer styles is super cool here. If you're someone getting into beer and you're just trying to, you know, see what's out there, Phantom Carriage is a great place to come. Try out some flavors and see what's going down. I'm definitely thinking about trying to come back here at some point. Bring a whole gang of y'all motherfuckers out here, you know, so we can kind of see what's popping in here, man. It is a Saturday night, I think, and man, this would be a cool spot to have a little concert, you know. There's a creaminess to this guy that I didn't really notice before. Maybe it may be the lingering effect of the other beer. One thing that I usually recommend for people is to get a full pour of something if you can. It's hard to judge a beer, you know, within, you know, like a small, small taster glass. You know, you want to really get the full story. You know? I feel like beer, from the first taste to the end of the glass, there's kind of a progression there. As your body gets used to the flavors and the profiles, and the flavors kind of sit in your head a little bit, you start to notice different things. Like for this one, even this, I'm noticing a little bit of spiciness in the back of my throat. There's this milkiness, almost like a morning shake, kind of a dry, you know, like if you're having like a protein shake a little bit, you know. That's kind of my association. This is where the amberness, the roundness, the brown quality of the beer really starts to come together. I really want to talk about browns at some point on this blog. Browns is another really interesting category, but this is a red. It's a redhead. Oh man, fucking love redheads. When my dad was growing up, he had an aunt that was black like me, but also redhead. Not too many of those, I can imagine. The coffee flavor in here is so rich and dense and so tasty. So if anything, this kind of reminds me of a Royboys tea, but maybe like a Royboys black tea, where you get that caffeineness, that pronounced caffeine quality to it, that roasted kind of maltiness to it, but also with that kind of ambery, kind of like shimmery thing on top of it. This is Afro Beer Guru. Hit me up if you have any suggestions of spots to come check out, or if you want to come and hang out. You know, you can always do that. I'm thinking about doing a NorCal run at some point, so any of NorCal breweries or any folks out there, hit me up and see what's good. And let's make it happen. Check out my coat right here. Oh man, this shit's so sexy, baby. Afro Beer Guru, keep it good.